This segment is about migrating slides from other presentations. So what I have here is just a generic presentation, and I will bring slides over from here to the other location. So we will just take this, we will copy, and we will just paste them right at the end. And we do have two options for pasting. We can just do a regular paste, or we can paste as use destination theme, keep source formatting, or paint as picture. We are going to use destination theme for starters. What that will do is it will try to determine the best that it can what it needs to do to comply with the template properties that it is being brought into. So for example here, if we were to change the layout, we would come up here to layout, and we need to choose a layout that would be closest to what we need. So here, for example, we may want a white background cover. So we can choose the cover white or the cover to white. We'll just choose the cover to white, and you notice that it will automatically convert for you. It may not be perfect depending on where you are taking it from. So for example here, this is the heading. This would be considered the subheading, and this was designated as the subtitle, where the subtitle is here. So like I said, it's not always perfect, but it gives you a good start, and it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Here you would just type whatever information you wanted, or if you did not want these areas populated, simply hit your space bar and it will take away the placeholder so that you no longer see it and it will not print. But if you decide that you want to go back to it at a later date, you certainly can. It is still there for you, and then you would just need to type within and delete the space in front. And then for these slides, these would be representative of our bulleted slides. So we can select those, choose layout, and in this case we would want to select bullet. And then if we were to look over here, just to kind of give you your bearings, here we have a level 1 and level 2 bullet. Here it automatically goes to level 1 and level 2 for you. This one is level 1, level 2, and level 3. If we come over here, you'll see that it automatically assigns level 1, level 2, and level 3 for you. One thing that I do recommend when you're bringing in files from other sources is that you always take a second to select reset. So even though you've gone up and you have applied a certain slide master, if you just take the second to do reset, that will shift things that may have not gotten shifted in the initial. It's kind of like when you have a really dirty area, you may have to go over it twice dusting, where if it's relatively clean, once is sufficient. Same is true for this. So sometimes it takes a little extra effort to get everything in line as it should be. This slide, for example, would be best served by having just a layout only option. So here we could choose from a couple of different ones. The blank background slide, we could choose that. We also have the opportunity to choose one of the alternate background slides. So you'll see that it does allow you to keep specific templated backgrounds while still allowing you to reuse information. You'll also notice that when you bring it over, it automatically shifts your colors for you, assuming what you were taking it from, such as this. You'll see that here it is part of a color theme. So because it is part of a color theme, it is in position 2 or accent color 2. And then if we come over here, you will see that this is also accent color 2. So the benefit of that is if you are taking it from a presentation that is using proper accent colors for levels 1 through 6, it will automatically replace the color of the position in the donor slides to the recipient slides. So that is a huge time saver, but you still have the ability to go in and change them further if you choose to. So if you needed to do that, you could come over here and you would still be able to come in and change your color. So if you did want to change this blue to a multicolor option, you could. So it's not restricting you, it's just giving you a helping hand in doing what you need to do. And then this would just be more of the same where we would want to apply the formatting. There are certain situations, such as here where we have two columns, where sometimes it's easier to just migrate that information into a clean slide. So for example, in that one, we might want to just select bullets. Then what we would do is we would select next steps, copy that, and paste it right here. Then we would come up here, we would select this information, copy it, paste it here. Then we would come back, we would take the next column, copy it, and paste it here. I mean, it does seem like a little bit of extra effort, but it is easier than having to deal with it in this current state. Because if we were to do that and then we went up here to the bullets, it's not going to come out right anyway because this is not associated with this. And it's always better when you do it nice and clean and then you have it there exactly how you need it for the future. You will still need to double check because when you're taking from various sources, it doesn't always work the way that it should. So for example, where we have the submit research, this is really supposed to be a level 1, so we would just do Shift Tab, Shift Tab, Shift Tab. And for these areas, if we hit delete, bring it up, enter, and then tab, it would bring us to our level 3. So that is how you could work with that with the levels 1, level 2, level 3. Conversely, if you wanted this to be a level, a level 1, and this to be a level 2, you can just do tab and shift tab and it will perform that task for you. Here again, this may be a situation where you want to have the layout as a bullet option, but you'll also see that it encroaches on the table. So you may want to make it whatever size is appropriate, then select your table here, and then you can double click on the table and you can apply whatever formatting you may want to it. So you would just come here, select your formatting, select your table, and in some cases you may need to clear the table and apply appropriate formatting as well. So in this case, the table was not set up with a style. Or it was, but it didn't come over properly. These are things that you have to anticipate. They don't always come over the way that they should. We hope that they will, but they don't always. That's just the real world. So then you would just go here, you would apply your proper formatting, and then from there you could choose the table design that best meets your needs. So if you wanted this table design, for example, you could certainly do that, and then you would just need to come in here and apply the Arial font. If it's too big, you can make it smaller. You can do whatever you need to do. I just don't want you to be alarmed if the font doesn't come in properly. It doesn't always. It frequently does. So as our samples above, it did. But because this was not part of the structure of the template, it did not come in properly. So those are things that you do have to deal with. That will frequently happen also if you were taking from a source that has text boxes. That will also make it a little more challenging for you. But you'll see, for example, your pie chart did come in properly. So it came in the way that one would expect as far as the color switching, but then we would want to come over here to layout and we would want to choose our bulleted layout, for example, and then we would want to type our text because there was no title here, so we would want to add a title. But then you would work with this formatting the way that you normally would. So it would give you all of the options that we had discussed previously. So if you wanted the text to be the dark color, not a problem. You can change the font sizes, etc., whatever it is that you need to do. Same thing with our tables. So if we have blank tables, they would come in just fine. Again, we would just need to change our layouts. So I think you're getting the idea of how that would perform. And then again, we would do a reset again. And if it's down too low for you, you can always move it up. You can put it wherever you want. You can remove rows and columns. You can do anything that you would do in the tables that were previously described. Again, here, this came over just fine. We would just need to apply the proper layout. So again, here we would have some various options. We could choose one of our backgrounds if we, one of our backgrounds if we chose to do that, and then we could just move our table to the appropriate position, and we're good to go. So this pretty much covers what you would need to do when you were migrating from one location to the other. And just as a wrap up, I just want to go over again when you are saving your file. So we'll just come back up here, and then when you do file, always do save as if it's the first time saving. Choose wherever you want to save it, and make sure that you have PowerPoint presentation selected. We do not, under any circumstances, want PowerPoint 97 to 2003 selected, and we do not want PowerPoint template selected. If you choose either one of those, or if you choose open document presentation, you will lose some functionality. Things like your smart art, they will no longer be editable. They will just be pieces. So there are a lot of ramifications to doing that. If you go to 97 2003, you lose your color themes, you lose your font themes, you lose some of your master slides. Your footers may not perform properly. So please be very sure that you have PowerPoint presentation selected, and then you can save. Thank you.